this amazing part is here. And
Not
then
for
there's
another
like all manner,
week.
every possible manner of human distraction. Like it just, I was like, this is humanity right here, like this.
But there was,
It's like a 5D movie theater. I was like, what's the fifth?
It's 7 now. There were as many people in the park as there were in Gatlinburg.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That wasn't true when I went.
Oh no, the park was hot. Like we got up pretty early Sunday morning to try to do 2 different hikes where the roads were closed, and then went to one of the most popular hikes, which we were really worried was going to be crammed with people, and it was getting crowded as we left.
That's good.
But
Gatlinburg is whoa.
And Pigeon Forge is, I think, the same except spread out where you need a car.
Yeah.
So it's not like the masses in such an obvious downtown kind of way. But I mean, even Monday as we were leaving, the line to get into the aquarium was blocks. I was like, who needs to go to an aquarium that bad in the middle of Tennessee?
I don't know. It's like save us from ourselves. We can't sit quietly for 1 minute.
It reminded me, Pigeon Forge. Have you ever been to Branson, Missouri?
No.
Branson, Missouri is another, very much like that, tons of theater productions and shows and all that sort of thing. It was a little Branson-y. Same like at the beginning of the dinner show, to honor all of the military and veterans and whatever. And some like unnecessary patriotism and cheesy stuff at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I guess Red America should also be entertained. But I mean, at the end of the show with all the tap dancing, Kelly looked at me and she was like, I bet there's a great gay nightlife in this town.
Yeah, the only time I've been to Gatlinburg is driving through on the way to hike up to the top of Mount LeConte. So I've never actually taken in the...
I feel no desire ever to go back to Gatlinburg. I would return to Pigeon. There's a box in the Dolly's Resort that has a song that she wrote that is not to be opened until 2046. Her 100th birthday, and it will be the last song of hers anybody ever hears. Like,
doesn't she write a song a day or something?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Happy spring break. A week from tonight, none of us will be here. A week from tonight, God willing, you'll be around your tables, hopefully about to begin Seder, about to bring in Pesach. So I'll be talking more about that later on tonight. But this Shabbat is called Shabbat Hagadol, the Great Shabbat. Some say because Elijah, the prophet who we read about in tomorrow's Haftarah, who the Shabbat is named for, is called Hagadol v'Hanorah. He's bringing in, sort of invoking the future era of redemption in its greatness and awesomeness and mightiness. And so because we bring Eliyahu Hanavi into the Seder, we're giving him a little heads up here, come on, Elijah, we're looking for you. So start coming in now. We need you. So we'll think a little bit tonight together, both about possibilities for how we begin to prepare for liberation and redemption. And we'll see where that leads us. So let's light candles and bring in Shabbos. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Good Shabbos. Let's turn to page 11. Lehu niranena Ladonai Naria Letzur Yishenu Nikpapana Betoda Bismirot Nari Alo Ki El Gadol Adonai Melech Gadol Kol Elohim Ki Hu Eloheinu v'nachnu amarito v'tzon yado Arba'im shana Akud Bedor Va'omar Am Torah levahem Vehem Lo yadu drachai Asher nishbati v'api Im yivon el menuchati Shiru Adonai Shir Chadash Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Adonai Baruch Shemo Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato Safru Bagoyim Kevodo Bechol Ha'amim Niflotav Ki Gadol Adonai Ulo Meod Norahu Al Kol Elohim Ay Ay Ki Kol Elohim Ha'amim Elilim I want to share a poem that was written just this week by a writer, journalist. Maybe some of you follow her on Facebook. Her name is Sarah Tuttle Singer. She writes for the Times of Israel, and she lives in Tel Aviv. And so after yesterday's really horrific shooting attack on Dizengoff, she wrote a poem about all of the faces. She's sort of a master at capturing the incredible diversity of the Israeli population in any place that she encounters and lifting it up for the world to see. So this is her poem. I am the couple holding hands at the table next to you. I am the man with the gold chains, drinking a gold star and smoking his third cigarette. I am the woman with the headscarf and the prayer beads. I am the man with the broken heart, and I am the other man who broke it. I am the woman who sells flowers. I am the brothers who nearly come to blows over soccer teams. I am the 3 kids who skip school for an hour to sit by the sea because the day is nice. I am the priest, and I am the rabbi, and I am the imam, and I am not the beginning of a joke. I am the 22-year-old who just sold his startup. I am the old woman with a number tattooed on her arm who drinks whiskey with her friends every Thursday on Schenken. I am those 2 women kissing in the middle of the rainbow crosswalk. I am the woman pounding Guinness before Passover. I am the guy who squeezes the best pomegranate juice in Florentine. I am the bus driver with a natty gray beard and black yarmulke who sings along with Taylor Swift. I am the woman who draws on walls. I am the barista with the dirty laugh. I am the barman with the nose ring. I am the old men who do Tai Chi in the park. I am the fisherman in Jaffa, and I am his son who throws the fish back into the sea when he thinks his father isn't looking. I am the fashionista with red lipstick who rides a matching bike. I am the old man who sells sunflower seeds. I am the violinist at the central bus station with the long red hair. I am the crackhead who carries his book of poems, and I am the doctor who will take care of him for free. I am the pink-cheeked woman who gives out Shabbat candles. I am the prostitute who works every day. I am the tzaddik who pays her for her hour just to hear her stories about her broken skin and her broken heart. I am the mother and her children who sit by the sea. I am the mother writing to hear from her 23-year-old grown-up baby who went out for a beer on a Thursday night and may never come home. I am the couple holding hands while hiding under a table on Dizengoff. And right now I am vulnerable. And right now I am scared. And right now I am hurt and am reeling. But I am thriving and I am defiant. And I will be one beautiful, powerful, and courageous screw you to terror, because I am Tel Aviv. By Sarah Tuttle Singer. So, in the spirit of power and resilience, we sing Ana B'Koach. Page 22.
ענה בכוח גדולת ימינך תתיר צרורה תתיר צרורה
Let's turn to Lachadodi on page 23 and welcome in Shabbat.
Lachadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat Kabbalat Lachadodi ימין ושמאל תפרצי ואת אדוני תריצי אל יניש וחרצי ונשמחה
Turn to the Psalm for Shabbat on page 27.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, תולדות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי הנה אויביך אדוני, כי הנה אויביך יאבדו, ייפרדו כל פועלי אבן.
We're in the middle of page 28.
צדיק אתה יפרח כארז בלבנון ישגה lavish Adonai Zitazar. Mikolot Mahim Rabim Adirim Mishpaream Adir Bamarom Adonai Elotechanenu Me'od Lebeitcha Nabakodesh Adonai Leorech Yamim.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. So I want to ask if you have ever had a conversation that felt truly transformative. A conversation where at the end of it, or maybe in the middle of it, you felt like something had really shifted. Maybe in how you saw the world, maybe in how you saw the other person, maybe in some understanding of a situation where you took in new facts or information or just had a shift. Just maybe think to yourself for a moment if you've ever had a conversation like that. Last week, I was at a gathering of rabbis from around the world, rabbis from across the conservative and Masorti movement, from Israel and North and South America and Europe. And for just 48 hours we were discussing some of the hardest issues facing the world and facing our communities today, and talking about how we as rabbis can develop the kind of networks that span not just this country, but really span the entire globe to be able to support each other in leading communities in the 21st century, despite our many, many differences. People like to joke about the conservative movement that, all it is able to say about itself is, well, we're not this, we're not Orthodox, we're not Reform, we're just this hazy middle. And sometimes it feels like there is nothing that unites it except being this vast swath of in-betweenness. But we started to get into some of the meat of it. And on the second morning, we gathered in a circle. This was not like bright, beautiful California weather. This was cold. I brought my chacos and I couldn't wear them. They actually made fun of me because I was like, I'm gonna wear my sandals, and then I couldn't feel my toes. So we were sitting in a circle. They had the heaters on. Everyone's under these blankets and sweaters and bundled up. And the night before, we had started to really surface a lot of these differences. And so the facilitator led us in a kind of guided meditation just to help people surface what had been bubbling up maybe while we were sleeping, and surface any insights or truths. And I started to notice how much was kind of coming up for me. In particular, we were having a lot of conversations in my group around intermarriage, which is very intense issue in the conservative movement, where there's a lot of difference. And it's an issue where there's seemingly intense and potentially irreconcilable conflict among rabbis, among members of the community. And there were a lot of fears in this group that, were the movement to swing one way or the other, the opposite side would just drop off and feel like, I can't be here at the table anymore. I can't be part of this anymore. It's a conversation that's very personal for me. So, and it's personal for many of the rabbis there in various ways. And so as they were leading this meditation, I just closed my eyes and let all the emotions just come and let the tears flow a little bit. And then people started to speak. And at some point, without even really thinking about it or planning it, I raised my hand in the group and I asked to say something. And I just asked the group, in just a broad, open way, I asked them what it would take, really practically, what it would take to build the kind of trust just amongst us as conservative Masorti rabbis that would be necessary to do the hardest work we have to do together. When the trust, the kind of trust that we were in the process of building, I think, is really only built through these face-to-face interactions. When you're actually together, away from your normal everyday stuff, and you can really see each other and feel like we're in this together. And so when we are rabbis across the globe, is that even possible? This question doesn't have an answer, but it doesn't have an immediate answer, but it hung there in the air, and it's still hanging there with me. This question that I think is true for all of us of how do we build trust in the spaces that we inhabit? And I think Pesach is the holiday that has the greatest potential for creating that kind of trust around the smallest of possible spaces, which is around our dinner tables. This is the holiday of conversations. It's the Haggadah, which literally means the telling. This is what we do. We talk. The Seder is order, and people think what we're doing at Pesach is we're reading out of a script, but it's really just a laboratory and a fodder for conversation. And there's some rabbis that interpret the name Pesach as it's a sum of its two parts, peh and sach. Peh means mouth in Hebrew, and sach means to speak or to converse. So Pesach means the mouth speaks. We speak. We open up our mouths and words come out. Sometimes they're words that we haven't really thought through, but sometimes there's possibility for this really redemptive conversation. And I want to talk a little bit about what that could look like for us at our Seder tables this year and beyond. So my teacher, Rabbi Jan Urbach, wrote about this a couple of years ago, and she brought a teaching from the Zohar, from the core work of Jewish mysticism, that says the exile that the Israelites experienced in Egypt was fundamentally a kind of exile of speech, a breakdown in communication. She writes that the breakdown of speech that happened in Egypt is both the cause and the effect of our enslavement. And the healing and redeeming speech and actually finding our voice is the process and the hallmark of redemption. So how does this work? The failure of words is really epitomized and embodied and personified by Pharaoh. Pharaoh, many times throughout the book of Exodus, engages in just utter falsehoods, perpetuating untruths about the Israelites, outright lies, and more nuanced sort of partial truths and insinuating kind of remarks that destroy the fabric of trust in the Egyptian society. He uses language to advance evil ends, and he hurts. The language that perpetuates here is language that is inciting fear and hatred and violence. And it's language that's unreliable. It's language that's untrustworthy and empty, containing promises that are unfulfilled. All of these pieces of a destructive culture were present in Egypt. But Rabbi Urbach writes that there's another kind of exile of the word, another kind of failure of speech. And that's a failure that manifests as an inability to speak, an inability to say any words at all. So we see this in Moses, who at first, when God comes to him with this charge to go and speak to the Israelites, he says, I'm slow of speech and I'm slow of tongue. I'm mute. I literally cannot express words in any kind of clear way. And then when he does get up the courage to be able to speak and express himself, he carries God's message that the Israelites are going to be redeemed. He carries it directly to them. And what do they say? The Torah says they didn't listen. They couldn't listen to him. They couldn't listen to God because of two things. Avodah kasha, because of all of the hard labor that was placed upon them. And because of another factor, kotzer ruach, which is literally shortness of breath. They literally didn't have time. They didn't have space in their lives to be able to have meaningful conversations that mattered or to even connect with people because their times were, their lives were set for them. But even when they wanted to be able to speak, even when they wanted to be able to listen and engage in something productive, they were stymied in their throats. Rashi says that kotzer ruach, to be short of breath, he describes it by saying that one who is under stress is short of wind and breath and is unable to even take in a fullness of breath that would allow you to be able to just have space to take anything in. This is the stress response. We know this really well. We know that when we're in a state where our hearts are racing, we're activated, something is triggering us, we can't hear anything, and literally sometimes we're short of breath. This is our culture today, too. We are, I don't even need to say it, but we are, there's a famous, I'm blanking on his name, but historian, writer in the 20th century who said, wherever you live, it is probably Egypt. And I think it is more true than we know. We are within that breakdown of speech and breakdown of culture. But I know, and maybe you have an example of this in your life, that the truly redemptive conversations, the ones that have actually changed something or created an opening or a shift, have also been the hardest ones. They're never easy. They're really uncomfortable. They're the ones where somebody says to us, you know, you let me down, or you didn't show up, or, you know, I need you to hear this truth that's really hard for you to hear, but it's true for me. So can we talk about it? Can we listen? And when we create the space where we are able to maybe loosen a little bit around whatever rigidity of thinking we know, thinking we have the answer, letting go of our certainties, when we can step into that unknown together, that's where the process of redemption begins. So this sounds so lofty, but I want to see if we can imagine a Seder experience that is the antidote to all of the speech breakdown of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, and that actually creates the conditions on a micro level for a kind of dialogue that is holy and that heals. So I think what this looks like, just on a very practical level, is giving yourself enough time at your Seder. Now, this is not so helpful with Seders that are like little kids are at the center. So sometimes Seders you're just going to be, breezing through. But if you have a group of people around your Seder table that really can be together for, 2 or 3 hours, give yourself a sense of spaciousness and say, we're going to be here for a little while. Drew and I were just talking before the Seder that a big minhag in both of our homes, a big custom is making sure after you do the karpas blessing, to give people really heavy appetizers. So, once you've said Borei Pri Ha'adama, once you've said the blessing for vegetables, put out all the vegetables. Make sure your people aren't hangry at the Seder. This is a big deal because the more hungry people get, the more they're going to be like, all right, give me the meal. I don't want to talk. I don't want to have any kind of conversation that's going to be uncomfortable. Just feed me. So feed your people. And make sure at the beginning when you're hosting or, you say to your host, let's make sure to introduce ourselves and maybe share something, each person sharing something that has happened for them over this past year, something true, something real, something that's going to bring everybody into the room on an equal footing. I want to encourage you at your Seder table, maybe to do one fewer reading, and in the space that's opened up in that reading, to ask a question. A really opening question. So, you could pick one of these two. You could pick any question, just to open up space. So, for example, you could ask at your Seder table, dayenu, this word means enough. So what does it mean to have enough in your life? What does it mean to you to have enough? Just open the conversation and see where that would lead. Or you can ask in a really simple way, what does freedom mean to you? Doesn't require any special expertise, but I think you'll be surprised to hear what comes out and what bubbles up. And the conditions here for the kind of conversation, this is the third piece, we have to allow for half-formed, half-baked thoughts, for people to share, both the things that they have deep convictions around, they're sure about, but also those little nascent truths that just begin to bubble up in conversation when we make it a safe space, when there's not argument or debate or judgment, but just let's share something that might be true or maybe is true in this moment, even if it's not fully cooked yet. Someone told me that that after this chilly circle conversation in California last week, after I asked my question about how do we build trust, that they felt something shift in the conversation. They felt like there was an opening that was created. And afterward, people were a little more vulnerable and a little more honest. And I hope that's true. And I don't think it's because I have any magical powers. I think it happens when we take a risk with a group of people, when we risk asking a question that we don't already know the answer to, when we suspend our own certainties and step into the sea together. And so I want to invite you both to try this at Pesach, to create these kind of spaces around your Seder table. And I also want to invite you to something really specific. Just after Pesach, on Tuesday night, on April 26th, we're going to be doing the first of 2 workshops through our partnership with Resetting the Table. And we're going to be doing a lot of skill building and teaching of skills for being able to have these courageous conversations around any topic, to be able to really create the conditions that help people be receptive and open, and to be able to talk about some of the hardest topics imaginable. So I hope you'll join us. And I want to wish you all a Chag Kasher V'Sameach, a holiday of redemptive conversation and growth. You want to ask a question? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. So hard to do, but so important. All of us do. All of us do. Thank you. I want to talk more about that afterwards. Thank you. Thank you, Don. So let's turn to page 39, and we'll rise for Baruch.
Mevorach Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Can be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Umavir yom umevi laila, umabdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzavot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamidim loch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'Ravi. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael chahavta. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, v'hem negei yomam v'layla, ve'avatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Turn to page 41 and chant Shema together. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך. והיה עם שמות תשמעו על מצוותיי. ויאמר אדוני יום אשר לאמור. Adonai Elohechem emet. Emuna. We'll pick up in just a moment on page 44. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליה משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש Nora tehilot osefela. Malchutecha rahu vanecha bokayam lifnei Moshe Ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki v'ad Adonai et Yaakov u'ge'alo me'chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai Ka'al Yisrael. So at nighttime, we pray for peace. We pray for safety. And I want to share 2 pictures with you. I don't know if you can see them for where you are, so I'm gonna pass them around in a minute. But my good friend Rami Schwartzer has been living in Tel Aviv for the last 2 years, and so he went by Dizengoff this morning, and he took pictures of the corner where the shooting happened last night. So we can see in this picture. I'll pass it around. You'll see the Israeli flag and flowers and just hundreds, probably thousands of candles, memorial candles. And then this is a crowd of people just right outside the bar. And so this is what Rami said. I'm gonna hold it up and then I'll pass it around. He said, if you're interested, this is the most Tel Avivi image. Outside the bar where last night's terrorist attack occurred, you have religious and secular people lighting yahrzeit candles with Israeli flags flanked by biblical and rabbinic phrases, a man giving out barekas and chalot, Chabad laying tefillin on passersby, a man smoking a joint in front of the police, all happening outside a neon pink sign for the sexy shop. Am Yisrael Chai. And they're all singing Yonatan Razel's song, V'hi Shamda. So I'm gonna pass it around so you can sing it, or so you can see it. But we are gonna sing this song, and you did just get something else passed around. Thank you, Joss and Emmy.
They didn't.
Maybe you did? Oh, okay, so you may have to share with somebody. Yeah, that's it, the little half sheet. Oh, they missed you, oh no. Oh, Joss, come up here. So these words are from the Haggadah. They're sort of tucked away inside the Haggadah just after, where'd my sheet go? Oh, just after the 4 children part of the Seder. And after a section that says that God keeps God's promises, that slavery and oppression would only be a temporary condition we would have to endure. And so then the Haggadah says, V'hi she'amda la'avotenu v'lanu. Shelo echad bilvad aleinu lachalotenu v'hakadosh baruch hu matzilenu mi'adam. This covenant that has remained constant for our ancestors also holds true for us. For more than once they have risen against us to destroy us, but the Holy Blessed One saves us from their hand. But the songwriter did something interesting because he lifted the words from the Haggadah, but he removed a line. There's a line in there that he took out that says that in every generation they rise against us and seek our destruction. Not to say that this isn't descriptively true, not to say that, because we know it's true, that indeed the Jewish people have endured persecution generation to generation to generation. But it reads to me that in his kind of midrash on the Haggadah, that he doesn't want that to be an inevitability. He doesn't want us to develop the kind of mindset that says, this is just the thing that happens and it will always be so. Things are not always going to be this way, and we have to imagine a different kind of world for the Jewish people and for all humanity. So we sang this a little bit in the Nigun, just the melody at the very beginning of services, and so I invite you as we sing it to join us as you catch on.
V'hi she'amda la'avotenu, V'hi she'amda la'avotenu v'lanu, shelo echad amad
Amad Aleinu Lechalotenu Vehi She'amda Lavotenu Vehi She'amda Lavotenu Velanu Shelo Echad Bilvad Amad Aleinu Lechalotenu Amad Aleinu Lechalotenu Ve'akadosh Baruch Hu Matzilenu Matzilenu Mi'adam Ve'akadosh Baruch Hu Matzilenu Matzilenu Mi'adam Ishel Amda Lavotenu Ve'ishel Amda Lavotenu Velanu Ve'lo Echad Bilvad Amad Aleinu Lechalotenu Amad Aleinu Lechalotenu Ushmor Tzeitenu Voenu L'chaim U'L'Shalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Baruch Ata Adonai Haporei Sukat Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael Ve'al Yerushalayim. We rise on page 46 for Vishamru. Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael od le'olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz Vayom HaShavi Shabbat vayinafal Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi Yalmad yivrach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayecholu yomechon u'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala ובזמן קריב ימרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירון בעלמה ימרו אמן. אדוני שפתי פתח ויגיד תהילתך. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד לבד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד לבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. Turn to Kaddish Shalem, page 54. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא תברח ירתה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ימרו.
אמן.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשה. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמרן בעלמא וימרו. תקבל צלרון וברכון לכל ישראל, קודם ופונדי וישמעיה וימרו. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמעיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל וימרו. Page 56. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומשה בקרוב השמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בכוכבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אינו אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, רק כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום להשב אותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתינו. על כן נקבל לכם. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל We'll turn to page 58 for Mourner's Kaddish. So this week, as we say Kaddish, we are remembering Stuart Handelsman, Terry Howard, the mother of Jeffrey Howard, and Jerry Bernstein, the father of Ben Bernstein, during Shloshim, as well as the yard sites. I'm going to read the list for last week since it was left off, and also the list for this coming week of names we're remembering. Stanley Grossoff, Charles Flexner, Evelyn K. Miller, Louise Feinwachs, Abraham Bogus, Mary Kaufman, Esther Hollander Grossman, Ruth Berman, Esther Lee Kimmerling, Richard Mesnick, Peter J. Schmeidler, Florence Epstein, Alvin Raphael, Frida Kurgan, Willie James Coffey, Marty Lippman, Fritzie Schmeidler, Meyer Warink, Martin Tannenbaum, and Maurice Gann. And we also remember the 3 souls who were killed in Tel Aviv just last night. Barak Lofin, age 35, who was married with 3 children and a former Olympic kayaker. And Tomer Morad and Eitan Magimi, who were childhood best friends, students at university at Tel Aviv U, and Eitan was engaged to be married. They join 11 others who were murdered in the last 2 weeks in towns across Israel. We will not forget them. We invite all who are saying Kaddish to join in together. Page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich machutei. V'chayechon uvyomechon v'chaye decho beit Yisrael. Ba'agala ubizman kari v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevorach le'elam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushvechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
May all their memories be for a blessing. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Gail, we'll call you up. The countdown has begun to, Gail's not going to be doing this for so much longer. This is like, we're at a month now, I think. So get it while you can. You're going to miss this. Gail announcements.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Not a lot of things to report on, given that Pesach is coming up. So just if you weren't here at the very beginning, just a reminder, Rabbi Lauren mentioned that next Friday night, we will not be having services, Shabbat services, because we hope you will all be at home or at someone's home having your first Seder. So the house will be dark on Friday night, but we will be back on Saturday morning as usual. And then the following Friday, which is towards the end of the holiday, on that Friday the 22nd, we will be having services on Friday morning, and for those with the Yizkor service, and then that Friday evening we'll be doing a bring your own Shabbat dinner. Still Pesach, so we'll be out in the courtyard, and you can bring the last of your matzah and Hasidic things that you want to finish up, because it'll be the last night, and since Saturday night it'll be over. And then we hope that on Sunday, I know that many of you have already gotten your tickets. Will be joining us for our big Chai-ish celebration in honor of our 18th plus year here, and in honor of all of our past presidents. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, there are still spaces available, and we encourage you to do so. With that, I wish you all a Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. All right, so let's rise for Kiddush and invite kids to come up. And kids. Love to, yeah. Yeah. Looking for someone. Yes! Adam, would you like to make Kiddush? Yeah, good. You read my mind. I was going to ask you, but then I didn't want to put you on the spot. And then you just started walking toward me. I'm like, how did he do that? Okay, so we're on page 55. Go. Well done. Oh, sorry. Sabri, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehila lenikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki banu b'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uratzon hinchaltanu.
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Thank you, Yesher Koach. All right, to stay, we can give you a blessing. I know, it's fine. Only scraps. Okay, reach out and bless someone near you or someone far away. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Keni hiratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
Keni hiratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Keni hiratzon.
May God bless you and keep you safe and healthy. May God shine God's face on you and be gracious to you. May God lift up God's face toward you and grant you peace. Amen. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.